Society is shaped as much by inconvenience as by capability, by what it can't do as by what it can. Sharing music, or in general, file sharing, is the practice of distributing music or providing access to digital media. It has become the way of the industry when producing music and buying it. Over 100 million people participate in sharing music across the US, and it is only rising as technology becomes more advanced. Whether it is peer-to-peer music sharing through shared files on the computer, or syncing the music from a relatively convenient streaming service, such as SoundCloud, file sharing has allowed music to become more accessible. Music sampling has also become more popular over the recent years. It is the act of taking a portion or sample size of one recording and reusing it as an instrument or a sound recording, a different piece or song. Take the Grey album by Danger Mouse, for example. It is a mashup of an a cappella version of Jay-Z's The Black Album, combined with instrumentals from a multitude of samples, the Beatles LP, The Beatles, or more commonly known as The White Album. Consumers are all for music sharing. However, many times it is done illegally, which serves as a negative economic impact for the labels and artists producing the music. On the other hand, because sharing music is so convenient, it allows artists or music genres' fan base to grow at a rapid pace. As Fordham music professor Dr. Nason stated, "I think music sharing has allowed new artists to emerge more quickly than in the past. It has given us more variety." Meanwhile, consumers are happy because they have the option whether to wait or not to purchase once the song or album is released. Producer viewpoints, when it comes to sharing music or music piracy, are on the opposite spectrum than that of the consumer. While realizing it is beneficial to their fan base and popularity, it is detrimental to the sales and revenue. Because of this, some artists and labels are very strategic in how they release certain songs and albums. Other labels would release a compilation of music for free to keep their fans happy and incline them to buy the next album that is released. This has also attributed to the lack of quality we hear in the music we download. Dr. Nason said, "Music sharing has, in some respects, led to the dumbing down of music distributed through mainstream commercial outlets, as the conglomerates only invest in what they think are sure bets, which often involve music they know will have an immediate mass market. We have thriving music subcultures all over the world, but the most popular mass-marketed music is actually of lower quality than it has been in the past, according to Dr. Nason." We asked 93 New Yorkers, "Do you purchase the music you listen to?" 17 of them said yes. 76 of them said no. Next we asked them, "What do you use to listen to your music?" 37 of them said Spotify. 26 of them said Pandora. 4 of them said radio. 2 of them said YouTube. And there were 7 different mediums that got 1 vote, and they are categorized together as other. Finally, we asked them, "Do you pay for a premium service to listen to your music, such as Pandora One or Spotify Premium?" 26 people said yes, 50 said no.
Smosh, Markiplier, PewDiePie. These are just a few of the many popular YouTube personalities known for their gaming videos, specifically the type known as a Let's Play. A Let's Play video consists of someone, who we will call the content producer, recording him or herself playing a video game while commentating and reacting to what's happening on their screen. Their viewers are essentially sampling the video game as they watch the producer go through the story, the mechanics, the glitches, and anything else the game has to offer. Watching a Let's Play video could be like reading a review before buying the product, or it could be an alternative to playing the game yourself if it's not currently affordable. It is also a great tool for promoting and discovering indie games that would otherwise go relatively unnoticed if it weren't for the support of popular channels. Next to Let's Play videos is a much newer phenomenon happening in gaming culture: live streaming. Instead of recording a video to be uploaded online at a later time, the content producer is able to directly connect their gameplay to a streaming platform, such as Twitch.tv. Viewers watch the gameplay and commentary in real time, not unlike a live sports event. They are also able to interact with the producer and other viewers through a chat box. This type of sampling focuses less on the game itself, and more on the ability of the producer to entertain and promote a sense of community in a live setting. It's as if the content producer invited their viewers into their home to play the game together, without actually playing together. Shirky says, Although media that supports public participation, sharing, and discussion is a novelty, merely having the means to share without the motive to do so doesn't mean much. Any voluntary activity has to offer opportunities that tap some real human activities. Well, the idea of playing together without physically being in the same room seems to be what drives content producers to create these Let's Plays or start up a streaming channel. The viewers become the friend that watches you play on the side and gives you tips, or makes fun of you when you miss an easy opportunity. They actively participate in these small, channel-oriented communities that support both the content producer and each other. Such a community can even support the producer monetarily, or donate to charity in their name. These new types of sharing have led to the growth of the gaming community. However, gaming culture itself is still outside of the mainstream, even if the number of players get larger every year.
It's helping it to become mainstream, but it's mainly building up the niche, but it's a colossal niche. You know, you're only doing what other people do when they follow sports or when they follow movies, except it's not what you're doing isn't publicly embraced in the same way.
But with the rising popularity of video game sampling and the constant innovation of technology, video games may just be accepted into mainstream culture in the coming years.
While cognitive surplus can lead to positives such as sharing of music and games, it also can lead to dangerous ideologies being spread across the world. The best recent example of this is the Islamic State of Iraq in the Levant, or ISIL. ISIL follows a hybrid threat model, using a combination of unconventional tactics such as guerrilla warfare with an endgame of establishing a conventional state. ISIL fills its ranks with recruits from all over the world, including the United States. In August of 2015, a young married couple from Mississippi attempted to join ISIL under the guise of honeymooning in Syria. This isn't the only case of Americans attempting to join the group, as numerous young individuals have volunteered themselves as jihadis. But how could a terrorist group based in the Levant reach youth in the United States?
Shirky puts it, social production can now be dramatically more effective than it used to be, both in absolute terms and relative to more formally managed production, because the radius and half-life of shared effort have moved from household to global scale.
ISIL uses cyber recruiting tactics through sites such as Twitter, Facebook, and even on the PS4 network to draw tech-savvy millennials to their cause by appearing down-to-earth and youthful. Though ISIL is arguably the best at this tactic, they are not the first to do it. Instead, their ex-parent organization Al-Qaeda has been doing this dating back to pre-9/11. Anwar al-Awlaki, a natural-born American citizen, was the architect in building the cyber jihadist network. A former imam, al-Awlaki used a combination of social and tech skills to give online lectures reaching a global audience while reaching specific individuals such as the Fort Hood shooter, the underwear bomber, and the Times Square car bomber through IRC chat rooms and email. Before his death in 2011, al-Awlaki laid the foundation for what ISIL's cyber strategy is today. In his most ambitious effort, al-Awlaki launched a campaign for open-source jihadism, making learning how to make a bomb as easy as learning how to make a cake, in how-to video format. The online publication Inspire is designed to do exactly that, inspire the believers to fight, and commit acts of terrorism in the name of jihad. ISIL, previously Al-Qaeda in Iraq, has built upon open-source jihadism and has taken it a step further. Instead of just trying to influence lone wolf attacks, ISIL is actively recruiting Westerners to fight for them to achieve their goal of a caliphate. The U.S. Army has stated that ISIL's tactics have effectively created a new battlefield and a new kind of state, the cyber battlefield and the digital state. The U.S. is behind in its cyber warfare strategy at the moment, with futile, almost amateur attempts such as the State Department's Think Again, Turn Away campaign. The U.S. Army is only recently standing up a cyber branch, far behind the capabilities of countries such as Iran and Russia, to put it in perspective. Following the Paris attacks, even hacker group Anonymous vowed to attack ISIL online by deleting their Twitter accounts. For the West, it all boils down to attacking the information flow and preventing young men and women from falling victim to the group's recruitment scheme.
Announcing his candidacy in April of 2015, Bernie Sanders, an independent senator from Vermont, has effectively challenged the Democratic establishment with his unprecedented support of small donations and participation at massive rallies that surpass almost all other candidates on both sides of the aisle. The senator utilizes a blend of pre-television and post-television tactics to mobilize his base of fervent supporters. By invoking a political revolution from the American public, Sanders has engaged voters in the participatory culture seen in elections prior to widespread television consumption. He espouses the idea that voting is not enough. Citizens are able to, and should, join in rallies, events, and interactive forums in order to make a real difference. The 74-year-old Democratic Socialist enjoys a massive social media following as well, eclipsing Hillary Clinton's Facebook follower count by roughly 200,000, which is even more impressive due to the fact that Clinton has been known to outsource for paid followers in places like Baghdad and other underdeveloped cities. Sites like Reddit have been integral to the campaign as a communal space for the proliferation of ideas and an essential way for supporters to practically organize massive events in their home states. The Ask Me Anything event on Reddit is what helped propel him to the mainstream, as subscribers felt impressed with the ingenuity of answers to their questions. By understanding the significance of niche social networking sites better than his opposition, Sanders has successfully created a forum for appeal that self-generates support the more popular it becomes. With over 130,000 subscribers to his Reddit page, the presidential hopeful has put himself in a good position to win the nomination. Any human event, however improbable, sees its likelihood grow in a crowd, writes Shirky, and with a large enough crowd, unpredictable events become predictable. If enough Bernie supporters, also known as Sanderistas, take up the senator's call to arms for a revolution, his nomination may seem a lot more predictable than many of the pundits would like to believe.